Do you know the pitching coming up?
More than likely, TBA Friday. See how today goes. Regroup on the off day. Rupp and Webb are slated to start after that. So we'll see if we stick to that. Kind of a halfway answer, but at least something.
Do you have a timeline for Valkyries, maybe one thing?
Yeah, I think on Monday his kind of rehab stint or being full strength will be done. So I think it's within reason that if he was to join us as soon as possible, it could be by the end of next week.
It's your second time keep batting twice. That's where that's something we see more over the last couple months compared to everybody else.
I think so. I mean, it's with the changes, and even before that, Schmitty gets injured and things like that. It's kind of been a day-to-day thing, and you want to give the guys an early heads up on where they're at or if they're down and things like that. Sometimes we do that one-on-one, but as far as the whole team seeing the lineup, it's kind of just been a unique set of circumstances. I mean, it was awesome to have Eddie's around yesterday, but at the same time, you put out the lineup without a blurb attached to it. A couple of the guys had to do a little Google research to know exactly who we're rolling with. So, not a great answer, but for now I think it's just honestly a day-to-day thing. But it's something he can do because he'll get on base for you. He's a great at-bat. It doesn't make a lot of sense if you just go to the dry erase board because you want guys on base ahead of Bryce hitting, but the bottom of the order's done well for us. And last night, if the lineup turns over, one more time, it might mean one more at-bat for Bryce.
You've got to see Kyle Schwarber adding that with us as well. Another night, 1-1 thoughts. Could you maybe derive some inspiration by seeing him at the top?
A little bit. You're not human if you're not watching the TV a little bit yesterday. Normally, I think I've gotten a little more accustomed to having all the games on TV all the time and have started to enjoy, if anything, you educate yourself on who some of the players are. But we watched Louis at-bats yesterday, and you see where he's at in the lineup because that guy is going to be there. And it's a reminder, maybe a little inspiration, but a little bit of a reminder that, it's not outside the norm these days to do that.
The fact that his Dorothean does not seem at all, intimidated by being in that spot. What are your thoughts on the fact that he just handles it so well?
I just talk with Dave, and sometimes I just borrow answers from our conversation with that pregame talk. I tease Bryce that he didn't play basketball as tall as he is, and he didn't play football, so he's not, crashing into guys on special teams type of toughness, but he's certainly baseball toughness. And I think he wants responsibility. He wants to be accountable for what he's doing. So matching up with those intangibles, it's whatever you want to put on my plate, I can handle.
Do you imagine giving Willie, Rafi, maybe some more time the final weeks here than maybe you did in the first 4 months plus?
As far as downtime?
Yeah, or are they going to be...
Yeah, I mean, today was kind of slated originally to be Willie's day down, and then we revisited conversations, and the plan was to have Rafi down, especially with what Bryce had going on and playing so many games consecutively at first base, and Rafi wanted to be a part of today's game, and I think a part of that is how the series has gone. So I do think we'll try and be a little more strategic with it. But both those guys Rafi's got a strong reputation for posting, and then Willie's goal every year, it'll be the same thing this offseason, is to play 162. So kind of a delicate balance, but it certainly makes sense.
There's no talk of shutting him down with the back stuff, even later down the road. I
don't think so. That would have to come from him, and I just don't envision that. So certainly want to look out for him. Again, I think as a TV viewer, a Twitter guy, you might not realize how hard he plays, but I think you guys are at enough games. You see what he does. The first game in San Diego, he looked like a little leaguer. He had dirt everywhere, and he had holes in his pants and things like that. So if anything, I think it's just managing that wear and tear from the nature of playing every day, but also playing hard, throwing his body around and doing whatever he's got to do to win.
That catch yesterday, is that an indication that he's doing better with the back stuff, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's in a good spot. He said he could have jumped higher, but we'll see when the next opportunity arises. He definitely can dunk. Him and Koss, and I've quizzed a bunch of those guys on that. I assume Bryce can. I don't know that I've asked him.
So is there a number in terms of wins and losses that you'd like to get to by the end of the season?
No, I'd like to continue what's going on the last 2 days. Oscar Bernard had really good words for the guys before the game, just talking about how the outcome doesn't necessarily match up with what you do, but it's a game of percentages, and the percentages are highly in your favor if you play like you did the last 2 days, regardless of who the opponents are. So that would be the main theme for me. And maintain's not a great word. Like, strength coaches don't like to use the word maintain over the course of the season. You want to see guys get stronger. It'd be nice if we can find a way to build on the personality and the energy that's taken place the last couple of days, but also some of the execution. I realize it hadn't been perfect, but Blade navigating through some of that trouble, some of the plays, Koss getting more comfortable at third. There's been some good base running. And there's always going to be a mistake or two that pops up over the course of 9 innings, but just building on that theme that's been there the last 2 days.
See Sheen is back.
Yeah.
But everything's okay.
Yeah, just some family obligations.
Kind of a neat thing for Tyra to have that experience.
Absolutely.
He's very, very proud that there were 9 steals and did his 6 or whatever, 7 games. What do you think of just the job he's done and having to really stop?
Yeah, I think it's hard to say with some of the stuff guys do for us. It's hard to say that he's the hardest worker, but it's easy to say no one works harder than Tyra, literally. And that's something he's got high ambition in his career, is to be over there at first base. And I think the fact he was able to do it, he's very appreciative of. But not even icing on the cake, just a glaring thing was he did very well at it and had conviction to what he was doing, and I didn't quiz the players, but guys just by nature being around the locker room all day, you hear whispers or even loud voices, and I think the thing was he took charge as opposed to, hey, I'm up for a few days here, I don't want to screw this up, or I don't want to say the wrong thing, and did a great job.
You've been here for a long time for any coaching staff, how valuable was that institutional knowledge for years? Now got that.
As far as being around the other college coaches and things like that?
Tyra, that big in the
Oh, Tyra, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I think it's interesting. Will comes back, other guys come. It's like, how far back does this go? Because he knows everybody, but I think he's got good insight on, you want to have the blueprint for our organization is different than theirs. What works, what doesn't, how's this clicked, how's this vibe? And he's always a good sounding board for that.